Welcome to Courageous Creative Conquerors. I'm your host, Jean Voice Dart, expressive arts psychotherapist, credentialed teacher, and coach. It's my belief that we are all courageously creative and destined to navigate our way through life, learning how to feel, reveal, and heal. And we do this safely and effectively through the expressive arts. Hello, everyone. I'm Jean Voice Dart, and I'm the host of Courageous Creative Conquerors, and I'm very happy to be here with Meagan Edge today. Hi, Meagan.
Hi, Jean. Thanks for having me.
I'm just delighted to have you here, Meagan. You have so much to offer. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about who you are right now and what you do. If you can make that short, you just do so much, and especially in the area of the expressive arts.
The quote that comes to mind is, I am a busy mind in many places. And this was a quote that I received on a birthday gift that I got when I was in grade 5. It was on a bookmark and it said, Gemini, a busy mind in many places. That is definitely where I am right now in my life. Many hats, many projects. I'm feeling such an incredible energy of creativity right now in my life. And I'm feeling really poised to bring so many offerings into the world to help people on their healing journeys, because we all need that. And so that's fundamentally who I am. I'm a healer, I'm a master healer, and I work with mind, body, and soul healing, which is a holistic approach to our whole experience of being human. And then with that, I bring in dozens and dozens of different modalities and approaches to help people heal, all of which are creative endeavors.
Nature is something that's very dear to your heart and mine too. Can you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. For me, nature is medicine. And that's now one of my favorite taglines for the work that I do. I look around, and especially over the last 5 years, and I see how important it is that we remember that we are a part of nature and that we find ways, however small or grand they are, to connect with nature. And for me, it's natural to connect with nature because that's what I was brought up with. But I appreciate that that isn't everyone's experience of childhood or young adulthood, where you have a relationship with the natural world around you, that it's not instilled in most people. And one of the driving forces for me around creating this deck of oracle cards, it's based on heart shapes that I found in nature while I was going through a really tumultuous time in my life, coming out of my 23-year marriage with 2 small children. And I'm saying to the universe, please give me a sign that I'm following my heart above all other voices. And the universe, with its sense of humor, said, sure, here's a whole bunch of hearts we'd like you to notice in nature when you're out walking.
I love that so much. The fact that you surrendered to the universe and you looked for signs, and there they were. These hearts were everywhere. And I saw your photographs of hearts in stones and just in nature's artistry, so beautiful and so true that if we stop and listen, we will be given what we need. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a bit like that saying, stop and smell the roses, which I encourage everyone to do. But in addition to that, it's stop and look around you. Notice what's around you, whether you're on the busiest corner in downtown New York or Toronto, or you're fortunate enough to be on a beach somewhere or just walking through your neighborhood. Open your eyes and look at your surroundings, because nature is everywhere and we are from nature. That's where we come from. Too many people are divorced or have divorced themselves from nature for lots of reasons that we won't go into here. But essentially, what I want to encourage people to do, if I could start a movement, it would be the movement back to nature. And I don't mean living in a hut in the middle of nowhere. You can do that if you want, but it's recognizing that we are part of the natural world. And there's so many ways that we can have that reminding. And that's what my oracle cards are. I mean, it's called the Heart's Journey, the Healing Hearts Oracle cards. And it's really my gift of inviting people through their healing journey of whatever their heart is grieving or needs help with, to connect with these natural heart shapes that are so familiar to us. It's a universal symbol, the heart. It's so powerful. And nature makes these amazing heart shapes. Like, just for example, I mean, there's this beautiful rock, great big rock on the beach, just shaped like a heart. Nature did that, and I want people to be amazed by that. When
Yeah.
we're in a state of amazement, it's so much easier for us to be in a state of healing grace.
I think it's a sacred moment when we're in amazement. It's a really connection, a deep connection with ourselves as spiritual beings, I think.
Absolutely. The more wonder that we can bring into our lives, the more curiosity that we can cultivate. Oh my goodness, the acceleration of healing, the acceleration of manifesting, the acceleration of shedding the things that no longer serve us are so much easier when we're in that state of wonderment, amazement, grace, and gratitude.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. And you know what else I really loved when I visited your website was your description of oracle cards and the process, because I think many people out there might confuse that with tarot cards, and it's very different. And the fact that you give people the freedom to discover their own meaning and their own message, you are providing the art, the photographic art of nature, and they're looking at it and they are receiving their own message, and that's just so beautiful and so much freedom there. I truly love that. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. We can't be in a creative process unless we have the freedom to do so. And
Mhm.
so, where others might teach a very specific way of working with these meditation tools, whether it's tarot or it's oracle cards or any other meditation tool for that matter, I tend to step away from the rules and the limitations that I feel those structures can put on our own creative energies. And so, I encourage my students, my clients, to uh, to trust their own intuitive response to whatever it is that they are working with. So if they're working with my oracle cards and they see one of these beautiful hearts in nature, let's say it's like the cloud. I've got a card that has this beautiful blue sky and just this white cloud that looks like a heart in the heart shape. I want them to look at the card image first. Don't go to the message. The message is from me. And it was my experience in that moment of that symbolism. And certainly there may be, beautiful words of encouragement or support in what I have written. But I want them to have their personal relationship first with that image. And what does it mean to you? Because at the end of the day, what you know to be true for yourself is the most powerful thing that you can have.
Yes, indeed. And you know that we were talking about freedom, that gives them freedom, but also empowerment and
Mhm.
trust in their own inner voice and guidance. And it's just wonderful that you do that. I would so appreciate that. There's people out there that are suffering or struggling, um, overwhelmed, stressed, fear, chronic health problems, maybe financial struggles right now. And what do you have to say to them if you could say one thing to that's a tool that they could use easily, without a lot of paraphernalia, that they can just jump in and use some discipline or tool that you would advise them? What could you say to our listeners right now?
It's more of a practice if that's appropriate. Simply stop. Stop what you're doing in the moment. Plant your feet on the ground. The earth will support you. Take a deep breath and open your eyes and look around you. It can take less than 30 seconds to do that. And in that moment, you are doing a reset.
Look, listen, reset, and receive the many blessings that are here, and just listening, I think, to our hearts, our feelings, our bodies telling us things with pain, and really embracing that and feeling that and making it okay, taking that
Mhm.
quiet time that we sometimes don't take. you know
Yes.
we're
Yeah.
just busy with things. Yeah, aren't we? Yeah.
We are. And if what you just said, let it be okay. Let
Mhm.
it be okay that in this moment you're feeling small and insignificant, or you're feeling afraid, or you're feeling nervous, or you're feeling hungry, or whatever it is. Let it be okay in the moment that you're aware of that. And then you can move forward into, well, what can I shift? What can I change? What can I do? What can I do to help myself feel differently? And you will receive wisdom
Yes.
yourself when you ask that question.
And, just how has that creativity been of help to you? I mean, as a child, were you taught to be creative and use your imagination and play? And how has that helped you?
I was very fortunate to grow up in a very creative household, and I was encouraged to imagine and use my imagination, and I was encouraged to play and play pretend. I was left often to my own devices in a very loving way to be in the backyard or in the nearby forest and just be in that environment, singing, making up songs, drawing, all of those things. I was very much encouraged to do. Uh, and then as I became an adult, really recognizing how important it is that we connect with creativity, whatever that looks like for us. And if we can bring our creative selves to the forefront without judgment and without comparing ourselves to someone else's creative endeavor,
Yes. Mhm.
right? But letting our creativity be what is relevant for us, then we can achieve unbounded creativity in that moment. I have two daughters who are incredibly artistically talented in so many different ways. I draw stick figures.
Oh,
I'm not artistic in that way. I'm not creative in that way, but I am creative when I'm making my salves and balms, when I'm working with nature. I'm creative when I'm using my photography to help inspire someone else.
creativity is here for us when we need it. It's something that we just have to stop and listen and trust. And so, how would you define this back here? Courageous, creative conquerors. I know that you probably have had moments in your life where you had to draw upon that to help you get through tough times. What's your definition of a courageous, creative conqueror?
Courage and being courageous is something that um, I think we have to learn it. I believe we can learn it by example. We see someone else doing something out of the norm, out of the box that is not perhaps what everybody else would want them to do. That's that courageous moment where you say, I'm going to do this thing. For me, it was, I'm going to share my story about why these hearts were so important to me. And I'm going to share with my readers that I stepped out of my marriage and what that was like. And I'm going to do it in total honesty. That was courageous to do that. I didn't have to do that. That's the thing. We don't have to be courageous, but when the moment presents itself that allows us to step into being courageous, everything changes. And the creativity in the way in which we show up as a courageous conqueror is that personal aspect of ourselves that we bring to the world. The word conquering, that's a really powerful word.
Yes.
And it for me, when I look at courageous creative conquerors, it's us as the individual conquering our own fears, our own feelings of inadequacy, or we're not as good as the next person. We're conquering that in order for us to bring our creative spark forward into the world. Because once we do that, we have an impact on the people around us in a really beautiful, positive way. And we become the mentor through our actions that allows someone else to say, wow, maybe I can do that too.
Okay, applause to you for being courageously creative and writing that chapter in the book. You did an excellent job, and it's just so vulnerable and heartfelt and open. And so, what is the title of your chapter?
The title of my chapter is The Heart's Journey to Healing and Wholeness from Chronic Pain to Self Love.
That's in the book coming out August 5th. Expressive Arts, the Ultimate Creative Guide to Transforming Stress. And you certainly did. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
thank you, Meagan. It's just been a delight chatting with you today and covering these important issues about health, healing, and creative action. And so, could you please tell us quickly how people can reach you if they're interested in reaching out and finding out more about what you do?
Absolutely, yes. I would love for people to visit my website, which is meganedge.ca. You can also find me across multiple social media platforms. I'm on LinkedIn under Megan Edge. I'm on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel under Megan Edge Healing with over 300 videos of work that I've done, ways that you can learn from me. And then you can also find me on Facebook and you can find me on Instagram. Again,
All over the
Megan Edge
place.
Healing, all over the place. Yes.
Anywhere, Megan Edge. Okay, thank you, Megan. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye.